Hey everybody, Kane here, and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. So, I have been gone for, I guess, the last couple of days. I was extremely busy in real life, and every single time I got back home, I was very tired, and the only thing that I wanted to do was just jump in my bed, turn on a movie, and pass out. Of course, this Friday we also had City Clash, so every time I got back home, I had to participate at the very least few hours per 12-hour spawns to compete for rank 1 and deny this particular person of even, trying to go for the ranking. Like this guy has I think 9 alts or so I heard. So you can imagine, that he would be able to get more than this if nothing was done or we didn't have timers for the cities. So aside from that, in this one we are going to talk a little bit about war, what you can do in the wars, and of course I was fully cleared. We're going to talk about that as well, and of course some tips in terms of farming. So, first things first, I was fully cleared as Lich. So, how can you get fully cleared? So what happened is I have this particular alt in terms of the attackers, in which I take my own resources from my main account and I store them on my alt. So whenever I would need those resources, I have them stable. I have an easy pickup whenever I want them to rush stuff or play power prize fight. Because if you keep it on your main, usually many people would hit you and they would take your resources. So if you don't want to lose them, you have to get this particular account, not in terms of my own, but make a second account for yourself. Now, what happened was, it was 1 or 2 a.m. I was dead tired. Like, I was extremely tired. And when the formation goes is I have these off race units. So I place this particular one and I pressed save. So my Circane Bank or my alt account cleared this thing, and I dismissed that city off my bank account and I passed out. So the thing about that is, if this particular squad goes into the hospital, I don't have any more clerics. So what the computer AI would do is it puts literally this entire thing of just the strongest army in terms of your wall defense, right? And there are no heroes, no dragon, so the person doesn't even require to use a dragon, and he's able to fully clear my wall defense. And that is what happened. And that person spent about 3 to 4 hours to fully clear my defense, right? So most people would think you would and should feel like shit when that happens to you. Well, I kind of went on and did the best thing, you could possibly do, is go to his buddy and grind his buddy's wall for golden army. So I was using, a copy of my PvP formation with some heroes removed, and of course, few summoners. So his friend has a broken wall defense as well. And what happens is we have clerics and we are summoning the skeleton warriors. So if you are doing like this, you do not want to cast abilities, because the slower you clear, the more skeletons you're able to revive. Now, as you can see, there is a huge amount of stalkers. So after every single fight, I was reviving about 150 skeleton warriors and some warlocks. So close to 150 to 200 Lich units, tier 19 per one battle. So what happened was I attacked him about, 10 times, I think? Something like that. That was like 15 minutes. And I got over 2,000 skeleton warriors. Not skeleton warriors, but skeletons as well as Lich warlocks. And I think I had a lot less when the guy cleared me, but I still had a lot of bronze. So that guy wasted so much to even clear the bronze. And I went ahead and I just revived tier 19s. I also turned some to tier 20 from like what 60, 70k red diamonds. And I got pretty much double the amount of golden warriors in 15 minutes than he took to clear my entire wall in like 3 to 4 hours. So then, the next best thing you can do is you go onto the world chat, you place one replay, and say he spent 3 to 4 hours breaking a broken defense, and his friend, mind you, his own friend, got me double the amount of golden in 15 minutes. I'm pretty certain he felt like shit after, and the smile and laughter went away. He wasted so much for literally nothing. Like, I didn't even feel like shit. So, I mean, I don't know what that guy is trying, but it's actually funny. So, the second thing about a war, right, is it depends what kind of war you're participating on. So, this war in particular is a farm realm, right? There are no krakens in here, there are no whales in here. It's just either moderate spenders or free to play. So the way a war like kind of works in here is a war of attrition. You want to make the other person feel the most shit possible to the point they will either leave or they will surrender. And surrender, I mean, they will put their ego down a lot of levels, right? And that is what you should do. So, for example, like this particular person, that's all his resources. Even though he was just hit and his wall was cleared, he was hit by one of his buddies who are also in the capital. Now, I can prove that he has this many resources because I hit him some hours ago as well. So where is he? I hit him, and he pretty much had the same amount of resources, right? The same amount of elixir. Wood became a lot less, but still about 20% or so. And that is what he has. Like, he barely has enough to level a research, rather, a specific research that would, I guess, be high level. So he has to level the low level ones. The same thing for this guy. He attacked me. You dry him out of any resources. Now, the thing is, I had my account with like over 200 million of each resource. So my alt does not necessarily have over 200 million of each. It's 20%. So, for example, gold is like 270, wood is almost 100 million, elixir is like 170 million. So, I have a lot, but not as much as I had before. However, there are accounts in this realm that I could hit if I wanted to that have double or even triple the amount of these resources. In some cases, probably even quadruple. However, I don't need that. But if I would ever require that, I have that access. So, regardless if they are going to be taking my resources, if I require them, I had huge amounts, rather, have huge amounts of resources at my disposal. These guys have nothing. Absolutely not. Like, if they would get anything, they would get from 2 to 5 million at best, right? Maybe 10 million if they would beat some other guys at best. That's enough for one queue. And that's pretty much all they can do every single time. Same for this guy. So, this is a war of attrition, and of course, you want to make the other person feel like shit. So, have to remember that. Like, if you are in such a war, you make this person go to capital, you farm him, and you make him unable to properly set his stuff up. The other thing is suppressing core and also fighting spenders. Now, as you can see, I am rank 2 in my realm. Thing about that, the person that I am fighting is rank 8 with 1.5 million core less. The thing about this is this person is spending money and I am not spending money. Or if I would, I just buy subscriptions to queue up research, but even that now is kind of pointless. So the reason you can know that this person is spending money is if you go onto his heroes and check the stats and we compare them to mine. So for example, his Avril is 108 million HP and 622 million attack. His Avril is level 73. So if we go on to my heroes, let's check what my heroes do have. So we go on to my Avril. My Avril has 100 million HP, 611 million attack at level 75. This kind of says that this particular person is a spender. Yes, is a spender. The thing about that is when he came to this realm about 2.5 months ago, it was not even like about 20% stat difference because levels above 70 is usually about 7.5 to 10%. So double that, it's going to be close to 20% difference if his Avril was level 75. So the way he came back here, I had like 200 million, he had 300. So that was 50% difference in our stats. And pretty much the only way you can easily get that, and I do mean easily get that, is literature. And he even showed me that he was spending money during Christmas, I think, to make me, I guess, annoyed or something. Like I don't even get phased by that. Like I don't care if people spend money. I enjoy beating spenders. And I help quite a lot of other spenders to spend better, to not be potatoes. So I don't even know what he showed me, but it's easy to check even on Avril's damage that he has this buff. Now, I'm not entirely certain if he has this yet, but for a fact, he should have this close to max. He should have this close to max. And that pretty much could nearly make up for the attack value difference. Now, again, I'm not sure if he has leveled other books or so, but that is what I kind of gathered. And that kind of makes a difference, because coming back into your realm with 50% more stats versus a guy literally topping either rank 1, all events, or rank 2, or resource events rank 3 or so, every single one, to have more stats without him playing any events or winning any events. That is a huge difference in stats. And that is, you cannot really fight spenders or many of them with proper stuff. Like there is a guy I changed who I was able to beat, and that guy now would not flawless me, but I stand zero chance in winning. He could auto battle me. So, and he also spends money. So the thing about that is at the moment you cannot really beat spenders who spend like 500 a month, 1,000 a month or so. No chance. So the thing about that is, as the months go by, pretty much this person is losing his edge because he stopped spending, or spends so very little that it doesn't even matter anymore. And I'm getting keys from events; they are becoming more accessible. He's not even top 3 in almost any events. Like I earn like more than 50, I think 60,000 denarii a month, and he's earning like 28, I guess, like 29 or something, because he's barely even top 10 in events. Like even a lot weaker people are ranking higher in events. So I'm not really losing much apart from, say, an emperor rank. But I mean, the only difference this ever makes is if you ever decide to spend your rushes. So if you're not getting emperor buffs or one of the titles, do not spend your rushes, and you're not really losing anything. So the thing is, I mean, a war is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, here's a tip for you, right? Most people think a war, even in a farm realm, is very bad. No, it's actually very good. The thing about that is, in this game, you kind of have to be a little bit of a dick if you want to be good at the game, and there is no other option. And the reason for that is if you capital the people you don't like in the realm and steal their resources and make them unable to play, they will change realm and they will leave. And when they leave, pretty much they are not going to compete with you in events. And that is what I mean. You have to be a little bit of a dick. So the thing about that is they were unable to get anything, emperor, king, they were unable to win events, and they just left the realm. Unfortunately, like I said before, I'm not able to fight people who spend quite a bit of money, but I am making up with the gap with winning events since he stopped, and eventually I will take over pretty easy. So that is the thing about it. Like, you don't need to worry too much if you're actually decent. Core in this sort of, state of the game does not matter. Like, this particular person has no archers. He, like, didn't even level the archer covenant pieces. For example, like me with archer stats, he does not have cosmic with archer stuff and archer levels and all that kind of stuff. And even if he doesn't have covenant. And the way this game goes is now you require to actually upgrade your archers to win events. And if you don't, well, that's a ton of Linari lost. And if you upgrade them, then this particular person will be able to show his score, and his score will make him rank 1 in the realm, being 26, 27, or even 28 million core. And that is how much core this guy is suppressing. So that is pretty much it. I mean, you shouldn't really feel sorry or you shouldn't feel sad if you're losing against, a lower core or you cannot beat it. You have to take into consideration what his account has, what it doesn't have, how much money he's spending, and all that kind of stuff. Everything comes into conclusion. Like, for example, let's take, say, this particular pack that just came up. For $5, we're getting keys, we're getting like regalias, all that kind of stuff. Like, this is a lot. Like, if you go to $50 or so, you're gonna get a ton of stuff. And packs like these is what the guy bought. Not this in particular, but he bought the Christmas pack he showed me and some other stuff. So, again, I mean, I don't know if this spending is good. This is just, I guess, a little bit of a resources. But after like a month, 2, 3, this means nothing. You're just spending money for almost nothing. So I don't agree with this kind of spending. And from 50% higher stats to 15 to 20% stats higher, that's a huge difference in a couple of months. So majority of his money is being voided by me just winning events, having Linari, spending Linari and stuff like that, and eventually he's going to be a nobody as he was before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much a breakdown of the war, what happened, what I do, what you could do as well yourself, and all other things. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. If you did, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. So as if you would wish to support me more than just watching my videos, I have made a Patreon page where you would be able to do just that. In return, I would be able to help you out more individually in terms of events, PvP formations, and stuff like that. As well as I would like to thank all of my patrons for their support. I really, really appreciate it for your subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.